What's up, y'all? It's your boy C coming back at you with another episode of C's Retro Garage. Coming to you as usual from outer space in the free state of Florida. This video is just as much a how-to as it is a warning. And the warning will be listed down below. Stick around. Alright, so I felt it was important enough to do this video, pretty much to keep you guys from getting hosed. And I could honestly speak for here in the free state of Florida, we also happen to be probably the most fraudulent state in the union. And this was meant as a how-to, but as a warning. And this warning goes out to those in southeast Florida, and as well as the west coast of Florida and southern California. And I will put the details in the comments. Speaking in code here. This is to avoid you from getting hosed hundreds of dollars unnecessarily. Now, the how-to part of the video. Now, if you own a GM vehicle, as I've owned many, you're probably familiar with the standard key fob. You're probably familiar with something like this. When this happens, okay? Yes, this sucks. Yes, this still works, but there's a big problem, okay? This happens to be my wife's Buick, and I'm going to show you what the problem is. Now, if you were just to take your hand and pop this right off, okay, you'll see that this is the battery. We can get a little focus right there. This is the battery. But there's really no way to take this apart, okay? That's because these are sealed shut from the factory. Either they do it on purpose to force you to go to the dealership and spend $400 for a new key, or they do it if they want to claim, you know, the ethical part about it or the quality part about it. They're sealing it to prevent moisture from getting in. As you can see, the other button is going as well. This one cracked. When this happens, it becomes a pain in the ass. Now, the logical thing would be to change the shell out, but considering this is a nightmare, the shell costs $10. Okay? For $10, or actually for $12, you can buy something that looks just like this. Now, this is actually meant for a Chevrolet. This one is not factory. This one is actually out of my car. As you can see, there's a screw there, the Chevy badge to go over it, but this is working for a Buick. Why? Well, because it's the same goddamn thing. Although my car does not have these features here, but who cares? It's just the two buttons and the horn that really matter. Okay? So this is a $12 remote. This little remote here really, in all reality, cost me about $300 one very late night. This is at least what I had agreed to. Until a certain locksmith went down the street, forged a signature on a false receipt, and ripped me off. And after getting a $700 bill and arguing and contesting it, well, the credit card company basically told me to go stick it up my yin-yang and sided with the locksmith. Never mind that the signatures did not match from the receipt I was handed, which was handwritten, to the receipt that was the electronic receipt that claimed the amount. Never mind that I constantly asked the credit card company, what is it you want from me? Do you want me to file a police report? Do you want me to, file a complaint with the Better Business Bureau? Do you want me to contact the state attorney's office? Nothing but crickets. The only excuse I'd ever get was, oh, it's the coof. Because of the coof, there's nobody in the office. Well, sounds like a load of horse shit. That's exactly what it is. So I basically let them eat that money, close the account, and told them, good luck, come and find me. I'm not paying it. And that was the end of that. But that doesn't mean I didn't try my ass off to do things the right way. And when this situation came around, I thought it would be time to at least get the word out to however many people would follow this. Okay, so this is a $12 generic key fob, because factory key fobs again are sealed. This one you can pop a screw out and this opens up just like a lotus, exactly that way. This guy you would have to hit with a hairdryer to melt it and do all those wonderful things just to be able for a chance to get this off. And the reason I had to call this asshole was because I've done a few of these in the past, but this is the first time I actually smashed one. Because again, this is sealed so tight that it is unbelievable. So this little guy here, this is its replacement. Okay, this, as you can see, it's generic. There's nothing on the back. Same switchblade key design. This would be the replacement. Okay, and I'm going to show you how easy it actually is to do. And one other thing before I forget that is super important. Part of the warning is if you decide to use Google services to locate absolutely anyone to do any type of work and you have an issue, please make sure that you report it to Google as soon as possible. In fact, you have about 30 days. Google does tend to insure the service up to, I believe it's $3,000. So had I gone ahead and informed them immediately versus the conventional wisdom which says, hey, let me call my credit card company, probably none of this would have actually happened as far as the long drawn out fight with the crook and as well as the crooked credit card company. So another lesson learned. Alright, so excuse my little makeshift tripod here, but what you're going to do is if you were to open the key, you'd see right in there's a little pin. Okay, so what I usually do is grab 3 tools. The only 3 tools you really need is a rubber mallet, pair of needle nose, some type of punch. And what you do, you open the key about there, right there in the little pin, and you probably want a little padding if you're doing this on the table. Just give it a few taps to make sure you're there, and then a good couple taps. Okay. Then after you do that, grab your needle nose, sorry about that, I dropped it. Grab your needle nose, pull the pin out, and then you might need to get your, whoops, The hazards of having a makeshift tripod, right? It's about the second time I dropped it, huh? Third, actually. And pull the key out. Okay, you can see this is where the key went. Alright, so if you were to close the fob. Alright. Well, that's all it is. You just pull the key out. It looks something like that. You kind of see the groove there where the key is. It just pulls right out. Okay. And then on the replacement, you do it in reverse. Okay, and thanks to the magic of video, this is the finished product. The original key on the new generic remote. Done deal. That's it. You can take this guy, put it in the parts bin, because this is still good, and you just never know when you might need spare parts. So keep this. Now, a question somebody would ask is like, well, wouldn't you have 3 remotes programmed at this time to the car? Yes, you would. My answer would be, who gives a shit? I mean, in all reality, who gives a shit? One of these, you just pull the battery out. You're not gonna worry about it. It's in your parts bin. You know where it is, so don't worry about it. This is much quicker, much easier. Take you 10 minutes to do. And then it's all about programming this guy, now this new generic one, which is similar to this generic one, to work in that car that's outside right now, and to be able to do this extremely quickly and save yourself hundreds and hundreds of dollars, and the aggravation of taking one of these apart that are from the factory, which could take you 30 minutes, 1 hour, you know, or you could just end up destroying it and then being stupid like I was and calling a locksmith, when Amazon will get this to you the very next day, and the very next day you're ready to rock and roll. So take that as a lesson learned. My loss is your gain, and we're going to take this guy out now and we're going to program it. Alright, so here we are. And this is how you're going to program the new key fob. As long as you have an original key fob, one other one, it's as easy as this. So first thing you do is make sure you have your key open and in a place so you can easily grab it. Next step is you take one of the original keys, you pop it in. Before I say anything, you will see the start engine light come up, or is it the check engine light? Whatever, one of them will flash. When this is all done, you'll notice it. So you turn your key, put it in the on position, but do not, I repeat, do not start your car, okay? And quickly, you got 5 seconds, pull this one out and go 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. Okay. Now you hear that beep? If I'm not mistaken, we just saw our light flash right over there, and we're gonna find out. Okay, let's see what happens. You hear that? Or hear this? Key is programmed. Let's open the car just because, you know, it feels that way. So now we have the generic GM key. Granted, it's different, okay? Because an Encore key is going to have the Buick badge. You can focus a little. And it's going to look like this because, you know, the Encores don't really have any features when it comes to this year. So we stick our new key, start the car. Remember, that little key is the original key from the other fob that was busted. As you can see, car's on, running, AC's on, everything nice, beautiful. Let it run. This is the good key, so this one, of course, stays away. And then you take the old key and put it in the parts bin. Because remember, that key fob is still good. The only problem is the outer shell. Just from experience, I have busted a couple of them. If you ever decide that you just want to replace the shell itself, trust me, this method that I just did is way easier. Who cares if you have a spare fob? Really, who gives a shit? But when if you decide to do it, you've got to heat it up and crack the seal on it. And it is a very, very tough seal. And like I said, I've smashed a couple of chipboards before and wish I would have just done it this way. Again, this little key fob from Amazon was 12 bucks. They'll get it to you the next day, and you can have your spare key ready to go in no time, just using the original key you had before. Remote looks a little different. Yes, it's generic. It's not as pretty as, having the little Buick logo on it. But hey, who gives a shit? Would you rather spend 12 bucks on this, or would you rather go to a dealership and spend $400 on a brand spanking new key, or even worse, get some scumbag, no good piece of shit locksmith to come out to your house at this time of night and rip your ass off for 700 bucks after he forges your signature on the card? So let that be a lesson to you. I'm not going to say the name of that particular person. This has happened to me by experience, but I will put it in the comments. And for those of you in the free state of Florida or in California, if you see this person, steer clear. But as far as this video is concerned, that's a wrap. And that's how you get it fixed, get that key fob fixed very cheaply, very easily. So once again, this is your boy C, coming to you from the man cave here in outer space in the free state of Florida, reminding you as always to stay safe, be ye kind one to another, and peace out.